Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Coach Andres of Alexander Cormont at the French Relationship Expert. And today we're going to talk about a specific topic for the ladies out there. How to make a man fall in love with 4 specific points I want to discuss. 4 specific important factors to think about and to apply if you're looking for that next step in the relationship to fall in love with the man. Ready? Before we get started, though, you know what I'm going to say. Let's get that subscribe button, get that button clicked on, as well as a good, nice like with a big smile. And again, share this video with anybody who you think you might know that might benefit off this. If you have any questions or concerns or anything else you want to have your opinion expressed, please leave a comment. I always look at them and I always respond, and I look forward to all of them. So here we go. How to make a man fall in love with these 4 things. Number 1, positivity. Positive attitude, optimism. And it's not necessarily just for him, it's for you. Because the more positive you are, the happier you are. The happier you are, the more happier he is. The more happier he is, the more in love he is with being by you. It's a ripple effect. You understand? You have to be a little more optimistic about your approach in life. You have to be more positive about your choices, about your feelings of who you are. Even if you have to fake it until you make it in that sense, because you always want to express that stronger version of yourself, because you start to eventually follow through with that. You want to manifest and visualize all this positivity of who you are, who you want to be. And guess what? He's going to love that. Who doesn't love that? You want to be that person who's always complaining or needy or clingy, someone who's always basically saying, point out the negative things in the world, negative things in the relationship. What about me? Me. I understand you have your needs. I understand they want to be satisfied. I understand you have a certain level of attention that you need. But instead of coming off negative about that, instead of coming off needy or clingy about that, come off positive about that. Give him the support, give him the engagement, give him the attention, and he'll give it back. It's interesting because, you think about if you want something, instead of asking for it, which just seems like the most common thing to do it, project it, share it, and it'll come back. And little do you know that if it doesn't come back, then maybe this is not the right kind of guy. You want to see if he's reciprocal towards your feelings, reciprocal towards your actions, reciprocal towards your positive energy. And the idea is, whatever happens with the relationship, whatever happens with the results with this guy, this individual, you're still going to express who you are in a positive way because it benefits you. It makes you more attractive. It makes you more valuable. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to point out the problem. I always say, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So let's project that positivity to always try to find the solution in things, because there will be inevitable problems in any relationship. That's just given. That's just life. There's always going to be a problem. There's always going to be a question. There's always going to be an obstacle. So if there's always going to be a problem ahead of you, there's always going to be a test in life, a test in a relationship, why choose to be negative about it? That's the obvious. That's easy. Be positive about that. It's more fun. It's harder. I'll give you that. It is harder. It's easy to be negative. It's easy to complain. It's easy to be needy. But when you put a little positivity and energy towards it, it's fun because you just start to enjoy things. You start to realize how much more present you are. You realize how much more enjoyable the small things are. And that's what we want to do, is project that self-awareness. Positivity leads to self-awareness. Self-awareness leads to more peace. Peace leads to more happiness. And then happiness obviously leads to more of an attractive person of who you are, and people want to be around that. Him, coworkers, friends, family, roommates, neighbors, whoever, they love that energy. They always say with like the celebrities and all these big famous people that they have such a great aura around them. They have that it factor. Well, I know personally that it factor is positivity. It's their approach on things. It's the fact that they are not afraid of being who they are or even projecting who they want to be. It's that person who you want to be like. So if you see all these examples on the tabloids and magazines and TMZ and celebrity lifestyle of how they have such a glamorous, positive vibe and energy of success, it's because they know themselves very well. They've self-reflected on themselves very well. They know who they are, so they have that self-awareness. They choose to be positive. Again, because it's easy to be negative. So again, if you want him to fall in love with you to a higher extent, be more positive about things. Trust me, it's addicting, it's contagious, and it lasts. And regardless of whatever happens with the relationship, it benefits you the most. So even though you think you're trying to give him something, you're actually giving yourself something. A nice, good attitude about life, not just the relationship. And you have to understand, when I talk to my clients all the time, I always say, listen, you're going to come in with a relationship problem, but I promise you're going to walk out with personal success. And that's a huge difference. When you look at the relationship and you always focus on the relationship, you magnify the problems towards the relationship, you're really basically distancing yourself of who you are. And you're basically defined by that relationship. Your life, your entitlement, who you are is that relationship. And that's not how it's supposed to be. You need to separate that to understand who you are personally. So when I say to my clients, you're going to come in with a relationship problem, but you're going to walk out with personal success, it's because I want you to be more self-aware of who you are. And when you have more of a positive attitude with that, guess what? People like that. He's going to love that. And he's going to miss that any chance he thinks that he's going to lose you. So again, it's all about benefiting you first, then the relationship. Number 2. Number 1, being positive. What do you think number 2 leads to? Well, positivity leads to confidence. And guess what? Again, with the positivity, you want to be confident about who you are and confident of who you're not. And that's the most important part of this statement. Be confident with who you are, but be even more confident with who you're not. What does that mean, right? Well, my point is, don't be afraid to share who you are and who you're not. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be insecure. Don't be afraid to be wrong. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. The biggest problem is when you know you have those triggers. And I talk to my clients all the time. When they know they get upset or they get that need to be jealous or suspicious or needy, they have these triggers. And it's not necessarily questioning him or the relationship. It's more of their need for more validation, their need for more reassurance. And that's basically pointing out to them. That's their problem, not his problem, not the relationship problem. So I always tell them, I was like, you are projecting the bigger issue of who you are and what you're feeling onto a small subject of the fight, of the argument, of the relationship. And that's not right. You need to be confident about saying, hey, I just miss you. That's all. I just want some more time. I really want to see you this week. It's been too long. Or I know work is hectic, or the kids are getting overwhelming. Let's make some time for ourselves. Projecting that confidence towards a needy situation, but in a confident way with a positive solution, makes the man fall in love with you because you are being realistic about the situation. You're showing your vulnerability. You're showing your soft side in a sense of saying, hey, I'm confident with being needy, but I'm not going to be needy and nagging you about it. I'm just going to say, hey, it's been a while since we had a good evening together. Why don't we plan a nice evening this weekend, just you and me? Projecting that confidence on something you're not comfortable with is huge because we all have those doubts. We all have those flaws. We all have those insecurities. I have my own. But what I try to do is I try to express those out in a confident way to make sure they know where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to destruct the relationship. I'm trying to build it. I'm trying to make it stronger. So again, when you're confident with just who you are, what you're doing, going to the gym, doing your everyday weekly things, that's great. That's awesome. That's huge. That's the big primary thing of confidence. The secondary one is knowing who you're not, knowing when you get uncomfortable, knowing your triggers, knowing your insecurities when they start to, beep out of wherever you are. You get detected with something and those negative triggers start to come out. Don't let your emotions control you. Don't follow through with that. That's when you kind of stop yourself, regroup, and say, okay, there is something else that's really bothering me, and I want to express it in a productive way, in a constructive way. How do I do that? Communicate openly, confidently, Even if you're scared, still say it, still do it. Because if you express yourself into that level of emotions and vulnerability to the man you love, you're going to get the most truthful answer from him. Either he supports that and reciprocates that with love and care and compassion, or he's dismissive and he doesn't really respect it. You're going to get your answer either way. I'm assuming it's going to be the first option. But then again, you also might get the second option, and that way that might bring you clarity to say, maybe this is not exactly the relationship I want to be in. The point is, when you want a serious relationship, when you want a man to fall in love with you, even though it's through his positivity and confidence and my other two steps, which we're about to talk in a minute, you need to project that love first. You need to project that positivity first. You need to project that confidence first. Be aware of who you are and who you're not, because you will get the truthful answers from him. Don't try to hide who you are. Be positive, be confident with even the things about yourself that you don't even like. I know it's interesting. I know it's tricky. I know it's not easy, but trust me, it really shows how much character you have, how fearless you are. If you can do that, then falling in love is easy. Making a relationship last is easy, because you're finding out the niches in the relationship, the algorithm, we'll call it, in a relationship of how do I make this relationship stronger? How do I project my needs, not in a negative way, in a positive, confident way? Oh, I get it. I'm not getting enough attention, or I miss him, or whatever situation comes up in life. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you want to project your needs, your insecurities, your flaws, in a confident way. So, at the end of the day, trust me on this. You want to project your insecurities, your flaws, and your needs in a confident way. We know how to be confident throughout the everyday scenario, everyday situations, but being confident when you're not comfortable, being confident when you are a little down or a little small, or feel a little, you feel like you're not getting what you want, project that out in a confident way. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Put the fire out, don't add fuel. Because we're always going to have those scenarios. So why approach it with a negative attitude? Why approach it with a selfish attitude? Be confident about it. And you'll find out if that man of yours, that man you want to take that next step, that man that you're in love with, respects that, reciprocates with that. Those are perfect examples before other big questions, other big situations, other big tests in a relationship with marriage or with kids. Learn that now. Practice that now. If he can't be, let's say, not only compassionate, but cooperative with something that you're not comfortable with, but you still project it in a confident way, you're going to find out right away, wow, this is a great person to be with. The partner, the chemistry, the energy. What a great team that we are. And that's really what you want at the end of the day, a life partner and a teammate. So don't be afraid to share your soft side, insecure side, flaw side, negative side in a confident way. All right? Number 3, your support. Your support to who he is and what he's looking for towards his goals. And why would you think that's so important? Because you want support. Again, I mentioned this before in my other videos, the mirror theory. If you want to be supported, support him. If you want to be loved, love him. If you want security, secure him. Project what you want in a relationship in the mirror theory. If you want to be supported about your goals, or having kids, or pursuing a business, or going back to school, do that for him. And again, just like the positive attitude and the confidence, you will see if he gives that back to you. Again, you'll find out sooner if you really want to take this relationship to the next step, if he's really something that you want to commit with, by seeing and testing it out right away to see if he's supportive back. Does he respect your confidence about projecting something that you're not too happy about? Is he understanding about how positive you are and really appreciates that? Those are things to find out if he reciprocates that back. If he's giving you those back, that's how you know you're basically almost to the place of falling in love, because you guys are dancing together. You guys are sharing your energy. You guys are synergy in a way, That was from a movie. Anyways, but yes, the idea is, I always have a lot of clients that, they constantly always find another reason to get satisfied, another reason to raise the bar of support, another reason to say, keep on giving me more and more and more. And I'm like, what are you doing for him? You know, he's a good guy. He works hard. He provides. Why aren't you supporting him more? Don't give him so much grief if he has a guy's night out. Let him do that. And that's probably one of the biggest things I always talk about with my clients is that when the guy has a guy's night out, it's nothing what you think you women think we're doing. We're doing just like the most simple guy things of watching sports, having a beer, and eating some wings. And we really just love enjoying that. Or even like a fantasy football league. We love just that camaraderie, that locker room environment of just guys talking about whatever we want to talk about. But it's going to be very simple and casual. Don't even think. And it's funny because my clients always think they're always doing something extraneously suspicious or something that's kind of shady. No, it's not. Let him go out and have his fun with his guys. Because wouldn't you love to go out with your girls and not be told, what time are you coming back? Let me know when you get there. You know, all this controlling thing. The idea is in a relationship with the support is, yes, you have one individual and another individual, right? And you want to find out if you're compatible, right? So then when you find out you're compatible, you are becoming somewhat codependent on that person because you really connect with someone. But as soon as you become codependent with someone with the same level of values, morals, and standards, and you guys are in line together with a relationship, you almost want to start to see how individually independent you can get with still the foundation of codependency being there. How can you be an individual, an independent, successful person, knowing no matter what, at the end of the day, she's there? You could do the same thing. How successful and independent and how ambitious can you be as a woman, knowing at the end of the day, he's there? So again, you want to have this level of codependency when you guys fall in love, when you guys click, when you guys like each other, the energy, the chemistry, the attraction, right? Now you know, are we lined up with our intentions? Do we want the same thing? Standards, morals, values, all those things, the principles. As soon as you have that connection, that codependency, now it's to see how, let's find out how independent you could be. How much can you go out on your own knowing that you got that support system at home? You don't want to feel like you're imprisoned in a relationship. You don't want to feel like you're basically watched on this relationship, limited to what you do in this relationship. The best relationships are the ones people who push each other to see what they're made of, support each other to see what they can do in life. It's not, so when you realize like marriages, right? They always say marriage is more than love. It is. Family is more than love. It is. Why? Because you're sacrificing so much. You're putting so much on the line. You're putting yourself basically third on the list because it's the kids, the marriage, and then me, right? So you're putting so much on the line. You're sacrificing so much for what reason? What hope? What idea are you thinking? Because you have such a investment. You have a commitment, hoping that that support system is there. It's stable. It's unbreakable. That foundation is going to help you grow to become the man you want to become the woman you want to become. So before we even get to that level of marriage or commitment with kids and support, why don't you support from the very beginning? Let the man go see what he can. Let the man see what he can do. Obviously, I'm talking this towards like positive situations. Nothing about supporting him with like other women, of course, or doing something that's going to jeopardize the relationship. But when you meet someone and you're on the same page, eye to eye, support him to continue being the best version of him, because you'd want him to support you to be the best version of yourself. And that is a game that's just lasts forever, man. It's a teammate that you just know that you got your back. You know, you don't always have to be so worried about me, myself, and I towards the relationship. That relationship doesn't define me. That relationship doesn't, take over my life. It supports my life. It supports who I am. So that's what I always find out. It's very important to find out if you want support, give him support. If you want to have confidence, give him confidence. If you want a positive relationship, give him positive reasons. And then you'll find out if this relationship is about to take the next step from liking to love to in love. And men love that positive, confident, supportive woman. Trust me, they love it. And it's not like the old days where, in front of every strong man is another strong woman behind her. And I'm very old school and conservative, so I love that statement. But nowadays, when you see a strong man side by side, you see that strong woman. You know what I mean? So let's put yourself in that position where you guys are basically pushing and challenging each other, supporting each other to be the best versions of who you are outside the relationship. The happier you are outside the relationship, the happier you are in the relationship. So again, appreciate those small things of being supportive because they go a long way. Number 4. But before we get to number 4, why don't you hit that subscribe button, because I'd really appreciate your subscription, as well as hitting that like button. Share this video if you know anyone who could benefit with it. And again, any questions, concerns, opinions, leave the comment there. I love looking at them and I love responding to them. And if you have any other suggestions or any further concerns, you can check out this video right here, because we're going to go through other topics to make sure we cover everything that you want to know. And if you're actually interested in any sessions, you can go to, FrenchRelationshipExpert.com/coaching, and let's set up a session. Let's get you where you want to go. All right. Number 4, your interest in his hobbies. He's showing your interest in what he likes to do. Not saying you have to perfect it. Not saying you have to love it, but just showing that level of interest in what he does and what he likes. Because wouldn't you like him to have a little interest in what you do? And again, it's not about saying, oh, he loves shopping with you. He loves going to the flower store with you. He loves going to the opera with you. I don't know about all that. But if he shows a little interest because he respects that you love that, that's just beautiful. That's something that's just very rare, I would say, in a situation. So when you want to be supportive about him and let's say, hey, how does this football game work? Teach me the rules a little bit. And again, the more you get involved in his life in that way, the more he's going to see, wow, this woman is so cool. Because when you show interest in someone else's hobbies, you kind of take off the hat of being a girlfriend, and you're putting that friend hat. Because friends, obviously, he's got friends who have similar interests in his hobbies. You have girlfriends who have similar interests in your hobbies. So when you act on as a friend, almost to a point where saying, teach me the rules of football. What does this mean about fantasy baseball? What's going on with blackjack? How do you like this whole boxing UFC match? Who's who? When you pull off that friend hat on, when you pull off that friend approach, now you know you're wearing multiple hats in the relationship, and that makes the relationship the best. When you could be a wife, a mom, a lover, a best friend, a support team, a teammate. When you wear as many hats as possible in the relationship, that's how you know you're building the relationship to be even stronger. It's like another piece of a foundation into your structure of who you are in the relationship. Don't be just the girlfriend. Sometimes you got to be a friend too. You know what I mean? He doesn't always want to be the boyfriend. Sometimes he wants to be the friend too. So when I always hear it, it's the classic romantic comedy scenario. Marry your best friend, right? Marry your best friend. And I know that might not work all the time, but you could still make a friendship out of a love-ship relationship. So try to be a friend. Try to show support to what he does and what he likes, because he will do the same for you. Again, that has to do with being supportive. It has to have to do with being confident with doing those things. It has to do about being positive about doing those things. Being supportive about who he is shows that friend factor in the relationship. So when he sees you, he's like, wow, my woman just cooked me dinner, asked me about football, and then just, we had a great evening together. You're just taking over so many different positions in life, wearing so many different titles, so many different hats. The guy's going to fall in love with that. You're basically scratching every itch. You're scratching every itch of what's going on in a relationship. And that makes the relationship stronger. Because then again, he might not be so tempted to be out with the boys all the time. He might say, you know what? My girl kind of likes football now. I kind of like it. It's kind of cute. She's wearing those little, girl jerseys, wearing the nice pink colors. She makes it fun. Again, being a friend, not worrying about being the girlfriend, not worrying about doing everything right, worrying about being a good friend, being a good support system. And showing that interest in his hobbies, he's going to show interest in your hobbies. So when you can be friends together, when you can be lovers together, when you can be boyfriend, girlfriend together, the more things you can be together, the better. You know what I mean? So don't be afraid to show a little support towards things you might not even like, things you might not even understand, but just, again, showing that effort of being a friend about showing interest in what he does it's very lovable. It's very contagious. It's very addicting. It's cute. It's adorable. It's awesome. So when my girl basically has no idea what's going on in the game, but she starts asking about a couple of questions, even though I know she's going to forget in 5 minutes, I find it adorable. She's showing interest. She's showing support. And same thing with me with what she likes. So again, try to wear different hats in the relationship. Don't just be the girlfriend. You're more than just a girlfriend. Think about that. So that concludes this topic about 4 things to do to make a man fall in love with you. Positivity, confidence, support, interest. If you guys have any questions or you want to dig further in this topic or have some other topic you'd like to discuss, please check out the website, FrenchRelationshipExpert.com-coaching, and look for sessions. My name is Coach Andres, head coach of Alexander Cormont at the French Relationship Expert, and I would love to help you out. If you have any other questions and you want to check out another video, click on this one because we'll be going through other topics. If you have any comments or opinions, I would love to hear them. So go ahead and type that in. I always respond to all of them. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.